I really do feel bad for Ace Bailey, but what was that doing? That dude made a fool out of himself, did he not? Who saw that? Ace Bailey, and let me pull this up now, actually. Yeah, so here it is. Ace Bailey only wants to be drafted by the Pelicans, Nets, or Wizards, doing whatever he can to control. And then here's this report. Ace Bailey did not want to go to Utah, but they drafted him anyway. And then you see his face. The kid's all looking angry that he got drafted to Utah. First of all, what's so wrong with Utah? I feel like Utah would be a great place to live. You don't have to worry about, like, you just lock in on basketball. That would probably be like one of the best places to live. Just focus on basketball. You don't have to worry about really crime like that or anything. It just seems like a peaceful place. You don't really have like all these distractions. But then he says, I only want to go to the Pelicans. So he's trying to force his way to a location. And if we're being honest, he's acting like the Nets are any better than the Jazz. And I understand maybe he's thinking of the perspective, like, I want to go to a place like on the East Coast where I can put up as many shots as I want and I can be the number one player. But let's just be honest. The only difference from the Nets and the Jazz is that he's still going to be in the same system. They're going to let him take as many shots as he wants, but he's just going to be in Utah. But he said he'd rather play for the Pelicans, really? I guess they have Zion, so that does make sense. But the guys, and this is the problem, college kids are now being in a place and they're put in a position where they're making millions of dollars already without the NBA. Now they're getting a little bit too demanding. Doesn't it feel a little entitled? You're going to complain about, dude, 20 years ago, if any player got drafted to Utah with the number 5 pick, they would have been happy to go there. Do you think Karl Malone complained about going to Utah? Do you think Stockton complained about going to Utah? Why is it such a bad thing? I'm not even. Did Colin Sexton even complain about going to Utah? So now it's like these kids are unhappy. They look mad. They're trying to force their way to go. And the only other time that I've heard about this in NBA history recently is Bronny James. Who remembers when Bronny James and Rich Paul and Clutch Sports were literally calling all the teams before the Lakers, and they said, if you draft Bronny, he's not even going to play for your franchise. He's going to go to Australia. That was a real thing that happened. They literally forced Bronny to the Lakers. That's the only other example that I can even remember off the top of my head. And I'm like, damn, LeBron, can your kid even breathe? Like, damn, LeBron, your kid's dream is to play in the NBA. Who cares about the location? So I don't know. It felt a little greedy from LeBron. He's like, no, my son has to be with me. It's like, can he breathe, LeBron? Can he finally move out the house? He's going to achieve his dream. He can't go play for the Bucks or the Celtics and all this type of stuff. And or the Suns. I think it was the Celtics and the Suns that had like the before and after pick or something like that. And he was literally calling all the locations. He said, no, he's going to play. If Bronny gets drafted to your NBA franchise, he's not even going to play for it. Okay, that was a little weird, but that's the only time I can even remember something similar to this. Ace Bailey, you're really making a fool of yourself, man. You're really making a fool of yourself. Let me see if I can actually find the clip too. I think Hoop Central uploaded it. It was a clip. This dude Ace Bailey, just look at this. Look at this clown show. Look at this clown show. You should be so grateful that you landed in Utah.
There was a lot of speculation that built up in your.
How about a thank you? Can you say Danny Ainge and Austin Ainge and all the people in the front organization of Utah and the great city of Salt Lake City, thank you, and I can't wait to work and do wonders for your program. Can you say that? But he hops on the podium and he says this nonsense. Listen to this joke.
Ace, there was a lot of speculation that built up in your draft process. You know, you seem pretty happy to me to be going to Utah. What do you say to people that maybe just don't believe that?
I mean, I control what I control, so how they feel. But to my team and me, me focusing on the basketball and them doing what they're doing, so it happens.
Ace.
Was that even English? Was that even a coherent sentence in the English language? Does anybody understand what he just tried to say? And the interviewer asked him a layup question. This guy, I don't even think he could even process what happened. The interview him, asked him a layup question to try to ring back the fans of the Jazz, ring back people that aren't on his side. What do you have to say to people that think you're not content and happy with going to Utah? That's a layup. He's throwing you the easiest alley-oop of your life to try to get people back on your side. All he had to say was, yeah, I mean, I think they're overreacting. I'm so glad and so grateful to be picked by this organization and so happy to go to Utah. And this guy just goes, I mean, it is what it is. They want to... Dude, way to like hurt your stock way more. What the hell? Dude, for the first time, people in Utah actually have a top 5 pick that they can be excited about. And this is what they react. This is the reaction. This is the player's reaction. It's like, damn, what did I do? And it's, bro, let's not act like Utah doesn't have great history, right? Even with Darren Williams, remember? And then you have the whole Stockton and Malone era. Like, don't act like the Utah Jazz are just like this purgatory that you're going to be sent to. It's so weird. It is so weird how he's doing this. Why is he going around like this? Like, you don't even have to be PR trained to just be respectful. You don't even have to be PR trained. And to think of all the post-game conferences that he's done in his life, high school, college, and he finally gets to the pros, and this is his reaction. What did he say? I can control what I can control. They feel how they feel, but my team and me focusing on basketball and them doing what they're doing, it doesn't even feel right repeating it. I don't even know what I'm saying, and I'm repeating a quote. That's not how it's supposed to go. Ace Bailey, you got to do better. You got to step up, really. This is bad. This is bad. What's this? Okay, here we go. This is another reaction. Colin Murray-Boyles got drafted to the Raptors. The Rappers. Colin Murray-Boyles got drafted by the Raptors with the 9th pick. I'm actually very excited about this. Great squad in Toronto. We're definitely going to the playoffs. I'm very excited about that. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, it's going to be a great team. B.I. is going to be healthy. Colin Murray-Boyles coming off the bench. Great defense. Great wing defense. He's basically like RJ Barrett, but I actually think he's going to be way better than RJ. And when Colin Murray-Boyles finally takes that leap, maybe in year 2, year 3, RJ is going to be gone. And we can actually get a better player in return, right? But look at this.
From the University of South Carolina. Colin Murray-Boyles.
Yeah, a lot of people were freaking out about this reaction because he said, like, F. I think people blew this out of proportion. Honestly think people blew this out of proportion. And I saw actually a quote by Brian Windhorst.
Boyles got drafted. I don't know if you guys...
Look at this. Look at this clown.
So when Murray-Boyles got drafted, I don't know if you guys saw this, but the camera caught him and he said a curse word. And he had to explain himself to the Toronto media that he wasn't cursing. Because, you know, people in Toronto are very sensitive. Mm-hmm. Very sensitive, the Toronto folks. So
don't speak on the city, clown. Don't speak on the city, clown. The people of Toronto are really sensitive. Yo, Brian Windhorst. And you know what I hate about this the most is that he's actually correct, but it's coming from the worst person, right? It's coming from it's coming from the worst person. Yo, Brian Windhorst, you know what's sensitive? Your cardiovascular health. Brian Windhorst, your lungs, your cardiovascular health, your gut is sensitive. That's what's sensitive. Don't speak on the city, bum. Don't speak on the city. If Brian Windhorst ate a cheeseburger and climbed a flight of stairs, he'd be in the hospital with it. If Brian Windhorst ate a cheeseburger and tried to climb a flight of stairs, he would be in the hospital within an hour. That's what would happen to you. Don't call you are the last person to call anybody sensitive. The people in Toronto media are sensitive. I hate that he's right, but it's just coming from the wrong person, right? Like, anybody's catching these strays. Brian Windhorst, I agree with you. People in Toronto and especially the media are very sensitive. Like, who remembers when Scotty Barnes, who remembers when the Raptors players were caught on a hot mic talking trash about the players? Like, Toronto media is crazy trash. We all agree on this. There's good reporters. Of course there's good reporters, but dude, let's just take the things. It is very sensitive. we got to take everything into consideration.